You were not born to be average. You were designed by the creator of the heavens and the earth to dominate, to create, and to thrive. Success is not an accident, it's a spiritual law. And when you align your mind with the truth, success becomes inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about riches, before we speak of success, before we even begin to imagine living a life on fire, we must start with this: a definite major purpose. Without it, nothing else matters. Without it, you are merely wandering. You are not climbing a mountain, you are circling the base. Let me tell you a truth that will never fail. No one drifts to the top of the mountain. You climb with intention. And every powerful, successful, impactful human being who has ever walked this earth, rich in wealth, wisdom, or spirit, began with one thing: a clear decision. What do you want? Not what sounds good, not what other people told you should want, not what culture or trends tell you to chase. I'm asking you, what do you want? Deep inside, beneath the noise, beneath the distractions, beneath the fear, what is the one burning desire that keeps showing up in your heart? Until you can answer that question with conviction, everything else is wasted motion. See, the creator of heaven and earth did not put you here to aimlessly wander. You are not meant to be lukewarm. You were born with purpose. You were born to do something, to become someone who leaves a mark. But until your mind locks in on that definite major purpose, your energy is scattered, and scattered energy produces scattered results. A man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. You must decide. Let me give you something practical, because this isn't just theory, this is life. Take a blank sheet of paper, and at the top write these words: my definite major purpose is. Now finish the sentence. Don't stop until your gut says that's it. Write it down, because what you write, you begin to own. You are giving shape to something invisible. You are moving it from spirit to paper. From imagination to reality. That's how all things are born. And once you have it, once you put your hands on that dream, then comes the most important part: repetition. Because the world will try to distract you. Life will try to pull you in 100 directions. But the mind, when fed the same truth over and over again, begins to believe it as fact. So speak it aloud every morning, every night. Carry it with you. Make your definite major purpose a part of your very identity. Say it like this: I am the architect of my destiny. I know what I want, and I will not be denied. Your definite purpose must become a demand you place on life. You do not ask for it politely, you declare it. You do not whisper it in fear, you roar it with faith. And let me tell you this: when you make that decision, when you plant your flag, life begins to shift, people start to appear, resources begin to align, coincidences multiply. Why? Because clarity is magnetic. When you are certain, the world feels it. Now some of you are thinking, but what if I choose wrong? What if I don't know exactly? Let me free you from that fear. Movement beats perfection. Clarity comes through commitment. You don't wait to feel ready. You commit and readiness follows. No one builds confidence in theory. You gain confidence through action. And the moment you commit to a purpose, even before you see a result, you are already above 90% of the world, because most people never decide. They drift, they follow, they react, they scroll, but not you, not anymore. Because once you define your purpose, you walk different. You wake up with intention. Your energy is not wasted on things that don't matter. You stop chasing every shiny thing because you already have your gold. Do you understand the power of that? Listen, men and women have crossed deserts for their purpose. They've endured failure, ridicule, rejection, because purpose gave them fuel. The dream was real to them even when no one else could see it. And because they refused to let go, that dream finally bowed before them. That's what you must do. You must see it when no one else does. You must speak it even when your voice shakes. You must believe in it even when there's no evidence. That's the test. That's the refining fire. That's where the strong are separated from the weak. Purpose demands sacrifice. You will have to say no to comfort, no to distraction, no to small thinking, but let me promise you, when you walk in purpose, peace follows, fire follows, power follows. The man or woman who walks with a sense of divine purpose becomes unstoppable, not because they're perfect, but because they are focused. And focus is the currency of champions. Look around. Most people are busy, but not productive. They're moving, but not advancing. Why? No definite aim, no major goal, no reason strong enough to pull them through the hard days. But when you have a purpose, when you've decided who you are and what you're here to do, you will walk through fire with your head high. You will endure the storm because you know where you're headed. That's what the greats do. That's what people with legacy live by. And don't make the mistake of thinking that your purpose has to be some world-shaking mission. Your purpose is yours. It may be to build a family with love and power. It may be to rise in your business. It may be to inspire, to create, to innovate. Whatever it is, own it, declare it, live it. Because the moment you claim your definite major purpose, you are no longer waiting for success, you are chasing it with a torch in your hand. Your days become sharper, your decisions become easier. You don't waste time arguing, doubting, or fearing. You don't follow crowds, you walk your own path. And the world, it watches. Because people may not follow your words, but they will follow your fire. Let that fire burn in you. Light it with desire, fuel it with discipline, protect it with focus, and walk with the confidence that you are not here by accident. You are here with purpose. You are here for something specific. And the day you decide is the day you stop surviving and start building a life that echoes into eternity. Now that you've chosen your definite major purpose, now that you've declared to the world what you are here to do, there is a force that must walk beside that decision every single day. Without it, your purpose becomes a wish. Your plan becomes a fantasy. Your energy becomes scattered. That force is faith. Faith is not a soft word. It's not blind. It's not weak. It is the most powerful tool you possess. When used correctly, it bends reality. It calls things that are not as though they are. It pulls the invisible into the visible. Faith is the bridge between thought and achievement, between the dream and the manifestation. Now let's be clear. I'm not talking about shallow belief. I'm not talking about saying, yeah, maybe it can happen. I'm talking about deep conviction, a burning, unshakable inner knowing that what you desire is already yours. You may not see it yet, you may not touch it yet, but inside you walk as if it's done. You see, success doesn't respond to doubt. It doesn't answer hesitation. The universe doesn't move for uncertainty. But when you speak with conviction, when you believe without seeing, things begin to move. Doors open, ideas flow, people appear. Why? Because you've already made the decision to believe it before you see the evidence. That's where most people fail. They're waiting to see it before they believe it. But that's not how success works. Faith is the evidence before the evidence. It's walking forward when the path is foggy. It's taking action while others hesitate. It's putting in the work, putting in the hours, showing up again and again, even when the results haven't shown up yet. Faith is a seed. It starts small. Sometimes it's barely noticeable. But when you feed it, when you protect it, water it, speak life over it, it grows. And eventually it becomes so strong that nothing can shake it. But you have to choose it. Every morning you wake up, you're given two options, faith or fear, and both require belief. Fear believes in the worst. Faith believes in the best. Fear sees obstacles, faith sees opportunities. Fear paralyzes, faith mobilizes. You choose which one you serve. Let me tell you something powerful. Everything you are right now is the result of what you believed about yourself yesterday, and everything you become tomorrow depends on what you choose to believe today. Faith is not passive. It's active. It works through your thoughts, through your words, through your habits, through your decisions. It's not enough to just hope you'll win. You must expect it. You must move like it's already guaranteed. Because when you truly believe, your body language changes, your energy shifts. People can feel it when you walk in the room. You become a magnet, not for luck, not for chance, but for results that match your level of belief. That's why doubt is so dangerous. Doubt poisons dreams. It whispers lies into your vision. It tells you, who are you to think you can do this? It uses your past to define your future, and if you let it linger long enough, it will talk you out of everything God placed in your heart to build. So how do you destroy doubt? How do you strengthen your faith? You feed your mind like a warrior. You guard your inner world like a fortress. You don't allow negativity to set up camp in your thoughts. You don't entertain fear-based conversations. You don't scroll through failure stories and feed your fears with comparison. You speak power. Every single day, look in the mirror and say, I am built for this. I am favored for this. I walk with power. I think with clarity. I act with purpose. And I do not shrink back. Say it even if your voice trembles. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as truth, because your inner world creates your outer results. Always. And faith is not limited by circumstances. I don't care what your bank account says. I don't care who walked away. I don't care how many times you failed. Faith doesn't look at the facts. It looks at the future. It says yes I've fallen, but I'm still rising. It says, yes, it's hard, but I've been built to endure. And hear me on this, faith is not pretending that problems don't exist. It's knowing that problems don't define the outcome. You can acknowledge the challenge and still believe in the victory. That's power. That's maturity. That's faith in action. Look back at your own life for a moment. Think about the times you should have quit but didn't. Think about the storms that should have broken you but didn't. You're still here. You're still standing. That's not by accident. That's even if you didn't realize it then. Something in you kept you going, that same faith. Now it must be intentional. You must use it like a weapon. Aim it at your goals. Aim it at your future. Aim it at the very thing that once intimidated you and say, I will not back down. I was created to conquer. The most dangerous person in any room is not the one with the most knowledge or the most experience or the loudest voice. It's the one who believes without doubt, because belief creates momentum and momentum destroys resistance. And don't expect everyone to understand your level of belief. Don't expect validation. Faith is personal. Faith doesn't need applause. In fact, real faith will often isolate you. People will call you crazy. They'll say, you're too ambitious. Be realistic. But faith doesn't deal in realism. It deals in revelation. You see it before they do. You hear the music before they catch the rhythm. And that's okay, because your results will speak louder than your explanations ever could. Now hear me? This journey of success, it's going to test your belief. It's easy to have faith on the mountaintop, but what about in the valley? What about when the plan falls apart? What about when the numbers don't add up? That's when faith does its best work. When it's dark, that's when your inner light must burn brighter. Faith is not a feeling, it's a decision. You don't wait to feel bold. You choose to believe, even in the silence, especially in the silence. You keep building, you keep trusting, you keep showing up. You do the work not because you've already won, but because you know in your spirit it's already done. And when your mind and spirit align on that truth, when your belief becomes unshakable, there is not a single force on earth that can hold back what is meant for you. Now that you have your definite major purpose, and now that you've chosen to walk in unwavering faith, there's something else, something powerful and often underestimated that connects your thoughts to your reality. It's not luck, it's not chance, it's the silent architect of every result in your life. That power is autosuggestion. Every word you speak, every thought you repeat, every belief you rehearse, day in and day out, is either building you up or tearing you down. You are either programming yourself for victory or rehearsing the language of defeat. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't analyze, it doesn't question what's true or false. It only accepts what is repeated. That's it. If you tell yourself you're tired, unworthy, unlucky, guess what? Your subconscious will say, got it, and it will start arranging your life to match that belief. But if you say, I am powerful, I am focused, I am walking in my calling, your subconscious will go to work on that command too. This is the secret people miss. You don't get what you want. You get what you rehearse. You might want success. You might dream of it. But if your self-talk is filled with doubt, with fear, with small thinking, your life will reflect exactly that. So I'll ask you directly, what are you saying to yourself when no one is around? Because that voice, the one in your head, the one whispering to you every day, that voice becomes your future. You cannot speak failure and expect success. You cannot think lack and live in abundance. You cannot declare weakness and walk in strength. The power of life and death is in the tongue, not just the tongue you speak to others with, but the one you speak to yourself with. That's why autosuggestion is not a technique, it's a lifestyle. It's how you take control of your mind and direct it like a ship headed toward destiny. And let me make something very clear. This isn't about magic. This is about discipline. It's about choosing your words with precision, crafting your thoughts with purpose, and creating mental routines that align with your deepest goals. When you repeat something often enough, it sinks from the conscious to the subconscious. And once it reaches the subconscious, it becomes automatic. It becomes part of you. That's when you don't just act confident, you are confident. You don't just try to be successful, you live it, breathe it, carry it. Every single day you must feed your mind with affirmations that match your purpose and fuel your faith. Say it out loud. I am the master of my destiny. I think with clarity. I act with courage. I persist with power. I am becoming everything I was born to be. This isn't hype, this is internal architecture. You're not just building a better life, you're becoming the kind of person who can live that life. Autosuggestion is the tool, and repetition is the fuel. Most people never repeat anything long enough for it to transform them. They'll say something positive once, maybe twice, then give up. But the mind doesn't change in a moment. It changes in momentum. You don't lift a weight once and expect muscles. You lift, you strain, you sweat over and over, and then the transformation comes. It's the same with thought. Every thought is a seed. Plant it, water it, speak to it, and let it grow. Let me challenge you with this. Create your own personal affirmation, a short, powerful declaration of who you are becoming. Not where you are, but where you're headed. Keep it with you, memorize it, speak it 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Why? Because the mind responds to repetition. If you hear something enough times, it becomes real to you. And when it becomes real in your mind, it eventually shows up in your world. Some of you are wondering why your results don't change. You're doing the work, you're showing up, you're grinding, but your self-talk is killing your progress. You're planting seeds with your actions, but you're uprooting them with your words. You can't move forward while calling yourself a failure. You can't rise up while telling yourself you're not enough. Change your words and your life will follow. And this isn't just about success in money or business. This applies to every part of your life. Relationships, health, confidence, peace. Every result in your life starts in the mind and is fueled by your belief system, formed by what you repeatedly tell yourself. Now listen carefully. When you first start practicing autosuggestion, it will feel awkward. You may not believe the words you're saying at first. That's okay. You don't need to believe it immediately, you just need to commit to it. Why? Because belief grows through exposure. If you expose your mind to truth long enough, it will stop resisting it and start absorbing it. That's how you renew your mind. Daily, intentionally, relentlessly. This is how you replace fear with faith. This is how you replace anxiety with action. This is how you replace confusion with clarity. Not overnight, but over time, with repetition. You must be your own coach, your own motivator, your own believer. Because the truth is, there will be days when no one claps for you, no one encourages you, no one reminds you of your purpose. That's why you must become the voice in your own head that says, get back up. You've got more in you. You are not done yet. Speak it when you're tired. Speak it when you're discouraged. Speak it when nothing around you looks like it's working. Because those are the moments that shape you. And let me give you one final truth about autosuggestion. It works both ways. If you don't choose your thoughts, they'll be chosen for you. If you don't plant powerful words, weeds will grow. If you don't speak life, death will creep in through silence. This isn't optional, it's essential. The battlefield of success is fought in the mind long before the world ever sees your results. And if you win there, you win everywhere else. Now that you've found your purpose, now that your faith is burning strong, and now that your mind has been trained through autosuggestion, there's something else, something practical, tangible, non-negotiable. You cannot win at a high level in this world without it. It's not general knowledge, it's not scattered information, it's not the ability to sound smart at a dinner table. No, it's specialized knowledge, and if you don't master this, your dreams will stay on paper. There's a myth out there that knowledge is power. It's not. If knowledge was power, every person with a degree would be wealthy. Every person with a bookshelf would be unstoppable. Every person quoting facts would be living in abundance. But they're not. Because power is only activated when knowledge is directed, focused, specialized. You don't need to know everything. You don't even need to know many things. You need to know exactly what matters for your mission and then go deep into it until it's locked in your bones. You want success? You want influence? You want to make your mark in this world? Then stop scattering your attention. Stop grazing across surface-level topics. Stop being a consumer of random content and become a master of precise information. If your purpose is to lead, learn how to communicate with power. If your purpose is to create, learn the systems that drive your craft. If your purpose is to serve, master the needs of the people you serve better than anyone else. Because when you possess specialized knowledge in your lane, when you know what others don't, when you think 10 steps deeper than most, you become irreplaceable. The market rewards experts, not dabblers. It rewards the man or woman who says, I may not know everything, but I know this one thing, and I know it better than anyone. And you don't need a PhD to get it. You don't need a certificate. What you need is obsession. The desire to know more today than you did yesterday. The hunger to outlearn the version of you from last week. The fire to say, if this is my purpose, then I will not approach it casually. Too many people pray for elevation but bring average preparation. Too many want promotion but bring general understanding. That's not how elevation works. You must prepare in private to be promoted in public. You must know your field, your mission, your calling inside and out. So when opportunity knocks, you're not guessing, you're not hoping, you're ready. Specialized knowledge turns you from reactive to proactive, from average to exceptional, from just another name into the name in your industry. But here's what you must know. You don't stumble into it. You build it deliberately. That means reading with intention. That means finding mentors, not just motivational quotes. That means investing time in learning what others are too lazy to understand. And don't tell me you don't have time. Everyone has the same 24 hours. If you're serious, you make time. You turn your car into a classroom, your morning into a university, your nights into mastery. You want to rise? Then study the patterns, understand the players, know the principles. Whether it's wealth, influence, leadership, or impact, every field has codes. And if you learn the code, you unlock the door. That's what separates the dreamer from the doer. The dreamer says, someday I'll get there. The doer says, I'll master the process one layer at a time until the results show up. You see, general knowledge might impress your friends, but specialized knowledge will change your life. Let me give you a truth that most will ignore. Specialized knowledge will often require sacrifice. You're going to have to say no to the noise. You're going to have to shut off distractions. You're going to have to spend nights alone while others party. You're going to have to go deep while others stay on the surface. But when it's time to deliver, when the spotlight turns your way, you'll be ready. Not because you're lucky, but because you're equipped. There are people right now, less talented than you, less gifted than you, winning. Not because they're better, but because they know more in the right area. They studied, they learned, they committed, and now they're walking through doors that you keep praying for. Understand this. Prayer without preparation is a waste. Faith without study is flat. Belief without knowledge is incomplete. God will bring the opportunity, but you've got to bring the preparation. You want to be the best? Then know your material better than anyone in the room. Be the one who brings insight, not opinions. Bring solutions, not noise. Be the one who's done the work in silence so that your voice carries weight when it's time to speak. This kind of knowledge builds confidence. You walk differently when you're prepared. You speak differently when you're educated. You enter the room with quiet power, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you know something. Specialized knowledge builds authority. It separates the imitator from the originator. And once you have it, once you've sharpened your mind, once you've gone through the hours and burned through the books and practiced your craft and failed and studied and adjusted and tried again, you become a force. And let me tell you something, the world can take a lot from you. It can take your money, it can strip your title, it can change your environment, but it can never take what you've mastered. That's why you don't chase fame, you don't chase clout, you chase competence. Because the man who's competent will never go hungry. The woman who's competent will never go unnoticed. You want security? Then build your knowledge until you become recession-proof. And here's the part that most people don't realize. Specialized knowledge doesn't just make you valuable to others. It makes you valuable to yourself. You begin to trust your own mind. You don't flinch in uncertainty. You don't break under pressure. Why? Because you know what you know. You've built it brick by brick, and every time you face resistance, you lean into what you've learned. That's how champions operate. They don't panic, they execute, because they've studied the game. And hear me on this. Don't confuse motion with mastery. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're active doesn't mean you're advancing. The question is, are you going deep? Are you learning the details that most ignore? Are you obsessed with knowing your path so well that no one can shake you from it? That's where greatness comes from. That's how legends are made, not in the spotlight, but in the hours of quiet study, in the decisions to read instead of scroll, to listen instead of talk, to train instead of complain.